Welcome to Rise Through Time, where hidden files, forgotten decisions, and secret innovations finally come to light. Today, we're unlocking some of the most powerful secret projects in American history. These are the ones that shaped wars, rewrote technology, and changed the world forever. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon to stay ready, because what you're about to hear was never meant for the public. America's greatest breakthroughs didn't happen in the open. They happened in underground labs, secure rooms with no windows, and at facilities the government denied even existed. From aircraft invisible to radar to spy satellites watching the entire planet. Two projects so advanced they seemed impossible for their time. These are the secrets that changed America forever. In the early 1960s, the CIA launched a mission so classified even the president only knew fragments. Code name Project Oxcart. The goal was to create the world's fastest and highest-flying aircraft. You might know the SR-71 Blackbird, but Oxcart was its secret father, built under total secrecy at Area 51. The challenge was immense. To build a plane that could fly at over Mach 3, engineers needed a material that could withstand extreme heat. The answer was titanium, but there was a problem. The United States didn't have enough, so the CIA created fake companies to secretly buy titanium from the largest supplier in the world, the Soviet Union. That's right, the US used its main adversary's resources to build a spy plane to watch them, the A-12. The aircraft produced under Project Oxcart was designed with a simple philosophy: don't dodge missiles, outrun them. Flying at altitudes above 90,000 feet, it could cross entire countries before enemy radar even had time to react. By the time a missile could be launched, the A-12 was already gone, leaving only a sonic boom behind. This wasn't just a plane, it was a technological marvel that redefined the limits of aviation. It was America's message to the world: we see everything and you can't stop us. The lessons learned from Oxcart directly led to the legendary SR-71 Blackbird. But its origins remained a deeply held secret for decades. Now, let's turn our attention to the final frontier. You know, the Apollo program for putting the first humans on the moon. It was a moment of global unity and human achievement. But buried beneath the glory was a secret side of the program, with missions designed not just for exploration, but for military advantage. During the height of the Cold War, the fear that the Soviet Union would weaponize space was very real. In response, the US military developed classified plans for the moon. One such plan involved installing nuclear detection stations to monitor for any secret. Soviet weapons tests on the far side of the moon. There were even more ambitious ideas, like establishing lunar observation outposts to spy on Earth from an untouchable vantage point. The most audacious of these was Project Horizon, a top-secret U.S. Army proposal from 1959 to build a fully operational military base on the moon. The plan was incredibly detailed, outlining how to transport materials, build the base underground to protect it from radiation and attack, and staff it with a dozen soldiers. While these lunar military missions were ultimately cancelled or never fully funded, they reveal a critical truth. America didn't just want to reach the moon, it wanted to own the ultimate high ground of space. Before GPS, before Google Earth, how did America know what was happening on the other side of the world? The answer lies in Project Corona, the world's first successful spy satellite program. Launched in the late 1950s, Corona was a revolutionary solution to a life-or-death problem: how to see inside the secretive Soviet Union without starting a war. But here's the insane part. These early satellites didn't transmit digital pictures. They used actual film. The satellites would take photos over enemy territory, then eject a massive film canister in a special heat-shielded capsule. This capsule would plummet back to Earth, deploy a parachute, and a C-130 transport plane had to swoop in and catch it in midair with a giant hook. If they missed, the canister would fall into the ocean, where it was designed to sink after a few days to prevent it from being recovered by the enemy. The intelligence gathered by Corona was game-changing. It provided the first clear images of Soviet airfields, military bases, and missile sites. Crucially, Corona revealed that the missile gap the US feared was a myth. The Soviet nuclear arsenal was far smaller than American intelligence had estimated. This vital information helped de-escalate tensions and likely prevented a full-blown nuclear war during the Cuban Missile Crisis for over 40 years. The existence of Corona remained one of the government's most closely guarded secrets, a silent sentinel that changed intelligence forever. In the 1970s, the Pentagon funded a project that many critics dismissed as science fiction. The goal was audacious: build a plane that was functionally invisible to radar. The result was the F-117 Nighthawk, the first operational stealth aircraft in human history. The secret to its invisibility wasn't some exotic material that absorbed radar waves, but its bizarre angular shape. The design was based on the mathematical work of a Soviet physicist whose papers American engineers had secretly studied. The flat panels, known as facets, were designed to reflect radar waves away from the source, like a disco ball scattering light. To a radar operator, the F-117 would appear no larger than a bird, if it appeared at all. This technology completely changed modern warfare. During Operation Desert Storm in 1991, the F-117s flew into Baghdad, the most heavily defended city in the world at the time, completely undetected. They struck key targets with precision, effectively blinding the Iraqi air defense system before the main air campaign even began. The success of the F-117 paved the way for the B-2 Spirit, the iconic flying wing bomber and one of the most expensive aircraft ever built. Stealth technology didn't just give America air superiority, it rewrote the fundamental rules of modern combat, proving that what you can't see, you can't fight. Not all secret projects were heroic tales of innovation. During the height of Cold War paranoia, the CIA launched a dark and controversial program known as Project McUltra, started in the early 1950s. Its official goal was to research mind control, interrogation techniques, and psychological influence. The agency was terrified that communist powers had developed brainwashing techniques and wanted to create their own. The project involved hundreds of secret experiments, some of which were conducted on unwitting American citizens. The CIA explored the effects of hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and various drugs to see if they could manipulate human behavior or create a truth serum. When the project was exposed in the 1970s, it caused a massive public outcry. The director of the CIA had ordered the destruction of most McUltra documents years earlier, making it nearly impossible to know the full extent of the program. What we do know comes from a small number of surviving files and congressional investigations. McUltra remains one of the most debated and infamous projects in intelligence history. It serves as a chilling reminder that the pursuit of security in the name of secrecy can push innovation, but it can also cross dangerous ethical and moral lines. Finally, let's talk about the device you're using to watch this right now. Long before Silicon Valley became a global powerhouse, the US military built something truly revolutionary. It was a decentralized communication network designed to survive a nuclear attack. If one node was destroyed, the information would simply find another route. It was called ARPANET, and it eventually evolved into what we now know as the Internet. Funded by DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, ARPANET was initially intended for military researchers and academics to share information across the country. It wasn't designed for public use, but its core principles of decentralization and resilience were groundbreaking. This secret military project, born from the fear of nuclear war, accidentally laid the foundation for the modern world. It connected humanity in a way that was previously unimaginable and rewired the entire globe. From hidden bunkers to classified labs, America's secret projects have profoundly shaped the world we live in today. They prevented wars, won wars, and created technologies that define our everyday lives, from the GPS in our phones to the very network carrying this video. If you want more deep dives into America's hidden history, its classified missions, and its forgotten breakthroughs, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Because the next secret we uncover may change everything you thought you knew. Thanks for watching.